Hello, I'm Dr. Praveen Ravishankaran. I'm a robotic cancer surgeon practicing in Coimbatore, in southern India. My work revolves around treating complex cancers using advanced laparoscopic and robotic surgical techniques. Every day inside the operating theatre, I work with the most intricate structures of the human body, organs that have sustained years of damage before the disease finally reveals itself. Over time, medicine teaches you something profound about the human body. Illnesses rarely begin suddenly. Diseases is often the end result of long silent processes influenced by our lifestyle, our environment, our emotion, and the stress we carry within us. This is the reason I started this channel, The Wellness Oracle. This channel is not only about treating diseases, but about understanding the deeper forces that shape our health as human beings, physically, mentally, and socially. In many of my previous videos, I have used experiments or scenes from movies to explain scientific ideas in a simple way. But today's video will be different. Today, there will be no physics experiment, there will be no movie moment. Because today, the story we are discussing is not happening on the laboratory table or on the cinema screen. It is unfolding in the real world in real time, affecting millions of human lives. Around the world today, we see conflict, violence, and war tearing through nations and society. The tensions and confrontations unfolding between countries such as Iran, Israel, and United States reminds us how fragile peace truly is. Political borders may define nations, but war always crosses these borders in the form of suffering. When we talk about war, we often think about weapons, soldiers, and military strategies. But as a doctor, when I hear about the word war, I think about something else entirely. I think about minds and minds of human bodies. I think about children who grow up hearing explosions instead of lullabies. I think about families running for shelter instead of sitting down for a peaceful dinner. At the end, that's what we really want. I think about hospitals struggling to treat patients without electricity, without medicine, sometimes even without clear water. War goes not only to destroy buildings and infrastructure, it destroys the delicate balance that allows human beings to live healthy lives. Stress becomes the constant companion of people living in the conflict zones. And stress, when it becomes chronic and overwhelming, is not just an emotion, it becomes a biological force that reshapes the entire human body. To understand this, we must understand how the body responds to stress and danger. When the brain senses a threat, it activates what is called a stress response system. Hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood the bloodstream. Heart rate rises, blood pressure increases, muscles tighten, the body prepares for survival. For a short period, this response is very useful. It helps us react quickly to danger. But when the stress becomes continuous and chronic, when the body remains trapped in a state of fear, uncertainty, and trauma for months, if not years, the same system which was designed to protect us will begin to harm us. Chronic stress disrupts nearly every organ system in our body. The immune system becomes weakened and confused. Instead of effectively fighting infection and eliminating abnormal cells, it becomes either overactive or totally exhausted. This imbalance makes people more vulnerable to infection, autoimmune diseases, and sometimes cancers. Stress hormones also influences the way our cells repair damage. Normally, the body constantly corrects small errors in DNA that occurs during cell division. But prolonged stress interferes with these repair mechanisms. When damaged DNA is not properly repaired, abnormal cells may survive and multiply. Over time, this creates conditions where cancer can develop. The cardiovascular system also suffers a lot. Continuous stress keeps the blood pressure always elevated, damages blood vessels, and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. The digestive system also becomes disrupted as well, leading to ulcers, chronic gastritis, irritable bowel syndrome, and metabolic disorders, which are very harmful. But the effect of war extends far beyond stress alone. In regions affected by prolonged conflict, basic necessities collapse. Food supply chain breaks. Clean water becomes very scarce. Healthcare system becomes overwhelmed or totally destroyed. Malnutrition begins to spread, especially among children and the elderly. Starvation weakens the body's ability to defend itself. The immune system totally collapses. Infectious diseases rapidly rises. Tuberculosis, diarrheal diseases, respiratory infections, and other illnesses flourish in environments where sanitation and nutrition disappear. The human body is remarkably resilient, but it cannot survive indefinitely without stability, nourishment, and safety. War also exposes population to toxic substances that were never meant to enter the human body. Explosives, burning infrastructure, chemical residue, and heavy metals contaminate the air, water, and soil. Many of these substances are carcinogenic, meaning that they can damage the DNA and initiate the long biological process that leads to cancers years, if not months later. History has repeatedly shown us that populations exposed to wartime chemicals often experience increased rate of cancers decades after the conflicts has ended. The battlefields may fall silent, but the biological consequences continue inside the body of survivors. And then there is the most terrifying possibility humanity has ever created: nuclear war. If nuclear weapons were ever used on a very large scale, the devastation would go far beyond immediate explosions. Intense radiation would damage the cells throughout the body, causing acute radiation sickness, bone marrow failure, severe burns, and massive organ damage. Survivors would face dramatically increased risk of leukemia, thyroid cancer, and many other malignancies. Beyond the direct health effects, nuclear fallout would contaminate the environment as such, poison food systems, and disrupt agriculture for years. Entire ecosystems would collapse. The human body cannot adapt to such overwhelming destructions. As a cancer surgeon, I spend my days trying to remove tumors, repair organs, and give patients a second chance at life. But when we look at war, we are not talking about treating diseases anymore. We are talking about preventing humanity itself from becoming its own casualty. Health does not begin in hospitals. Health begins with stability. Health begins with peace. A peaceful society allows children to grow, allows family to eat, allows doctors to heal, allows community to flourish. War does exactly the opposite. It replaces hope with profound fear, nutrition with prolonged starvation, security with trauma, and health with utter disease. This video is not about politics. It is about humanity as such. The human body was designed to live, to heal, to adapt, and to thrive. But it was never designed to endure endless violence and destruction. As individuals, we may feel powerless in the face of global conflict. But we are never powerless when it comes to the values we support and the voices we raise. Peace is not weakness. Peace is the strongest medicine civilization has ever known. If this one message has reached you, I hope you take this one thing from the video. It is this: a healthy world requires a peaceful world. Without peace, every medical advances, every hospital, every scientific discovery becomes fragile. Let's hope for wisdom among our leaders. Let us pray for safety for innocent lives. Let us remember that behind every headline about war are millions of human bodies carrying fear, hunger, grief, and uncertainty. As a doctor, I can tell you those burdens leave scars that last generations. If you believe conversations about health should include conversations about humanity, compassion, and peace, please support this channel. Subscribe to the Wellness Oracle so that these discussions reach more people who care about the future of human health. Share this message with someone who needs to hear about it now. And above all, wherever you are there in this world, hold on to kindness, empathy, and the hope that humanity can always choose a better path and not war. Because in the end, peace is not just about the absence of war. Peace is but the foundation of health. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.